product page that we designed and developed for Glaze cups. Glaze cups is a handmade, handcrafted coffee cup. It's made in Portugal. They ship all over Europe. And the client came to us because they were looking to increase average order value. As you know, in Q4, traffic is super expensive. So their goal was to get as many products into the cart. Now, as someone who drinks a lot of coffee, I definitely would be purchasing multiple products or multiple coffee cups if the deal was there. And our idea and our strategy behind this was, how can we package multiple coffee cups, make it incentive based, but also UI and UX friendly. And most importantly, we wanted to do it without relying on a third-party app. Not only are third-party apps a recurring fee, but a lot of the time the UI and the UX are very basic and it doesn't really go with the flow of the product page. So now that you've seen the product page that the client had previously before, I'm going to jump into the wireframe and show you the thought process. So what you're looking at right now is a mid-fidelity product page. It's mobile first, and I'm going to begin from the top and go all the way down and explain to you all the different things we did to increase not only conversion rates, but average order value. So beginning at the top, we've added an animated text marquee. Reducing friction by offering something like lifetime guarantee is going to increase conversion rates. The average customer spends less than 8 seconds on the product page. So you want to make sure that you're powerful right at the top. Saying stuff like free shipping is not impactful anymore. It's almost expected, and a lot of smart brands will just bake that into the cost. So things like lifetime guarantee, free returns, 30-day refunds, that type of language right at the top of the page is going to reduce buyer friction. Next, we're showing this widget here. Now, the company is running a promo that if you spend more than $100, you are going to be getting a free coffee cup. And the idea here is we want this up front, right at the top, with an animation. So the idea is that this shape is going to be turning in the background to get the user's attention. And we're saying, look, spend $100 and get a free cup. You'll notice in the design and in the development, we rearranged this and brought it down. But we wanted this to be at the top because customers would spend more money and also get a free cup. Below, we have the image thumbnail with the thumbnail boxes. We have the title. And one thing we added was the benefits. Now, what you're looking at is not the final copy. When I show you the developed page, you'll be able to look at it. But the idea here is we wanted to give quick benefits to the customer, why they should buy this cup. I made a video previously before about the drop-off rate based on scroll depth. And not many customers are going to get past your CTA. So it's important that when you are high up front, that you're giving as much punch as possible. Next, we have the choose your style. So the customer has multiple variants. And the idea was to show them on the product page so users could quickly switch between cups and see what they look like. Next is select the size. And you'll notice here on the client site, they don't have a size guide. So we added a size guide, and the way it works is when you click on the size guide, this is going to pop open and you'll be able to scroll up and down and look at all the different sizes and what type of coffees you can make with it. It's just like in the fashion space, selling a t-shirt without a size guide, your conversions are not going to be as high. That's because customers want to know what are the dimensions, what can I drink out of it, what can I fit into it. So that's something that we added. We also added these badges. You're starting to see this. It's not so much of a gimmick. A lot of people want to buy what's popular. And in terms of what is selected, Shopify did a study in over 75% of traffic leaves the default settings. So that's especially important if you're selling a product with a subscription model. And we always want to make sure that the biggest one is selected. Now, this is where all the magic is. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to create a custom widget. Now let me just try to get my pen here, and I hope it's not too big. Perfect. Let me just show you guys the idea here. Okay, so the idea with this section here was we wanted it to be on a swipe. The customers can add more products and they'll be able to see their discounts in real time. So if they add 2 cups, not only will they get 25% off, but the text underneath here is going to be dynamic. And it'll say, you saved X amount. But it'll also push you to add more. Add 1 more cup for another discount. So if they add the 3rd cup, this text is dynamic. Once they add the 3rd cup, it'll push them to add the 4th cup. And this is kind of how we're building AOV. The idea here is to get as much product in the cart, and we built this natively. So what that means is that it's not using a third-party app. It's built inside of Shopify. It's fully customizable through the Shopify editor, and the customer can always update it in the future. They could change the discount, and they could also change the products. Next, we have the delivered by. And as I've said this before, it's super important to have this right next to the call to action, as a lot of customers, I think 3 out of 4 customers in the USA or in the Europe are shopping off of Amazon. They are expecting to know when it's going to be delivered by. So this does increase conversion rates, and there's 2 ways you can do it. You can say ships by or delivered by. Ships by says that you're going to be shipping it out of your 3PL within X amount of days, and delivered by necessarily means that it'll be at your doorstep. Next, we have the guarantee. Again, we want to reduce buyer friction, and what better way to do that than right beside the call to action where the customer is making that purchase. The idea here is we want to say, look, enjoy your lifetime guarantee, and less than 0.2% of users ask for their money back. It's building confidence, it's giving security, and of course, it's going to lead to higher conversion rates. One thing I missed is the dynamic pricing in the add to cart. As the customer adds products, this pricing is going to be accumulating. And again, it just gives them the idea exactly what the total is going to be. And the way we did it is that it accumulates with the discount built in, so that this number they see on the call to action is going to be the exact same number that they see inside of the checkout. Next, we have the UGC, and you'll notice on the customer, they don't have that. And UGC is not a gimmick. It's a strong social proof. You should have it near your call to action button, and you're starting to see some of the biggest brands, from Space Goods to iMate to many others, that are using these UGC widgets near the call to action. Customers are so used to now looking, but even shopping off of platforms like TikTok and Instagram, and what better way to serve them social proof than in a medium that they're totally used to. Next, we have the accordions, and these accordions are just the same you'll see on every product page: the description, the shipping, the returns, and the reviews. Now, this section here is using hot points. And the idea was we wanted to really focus on the cups. We wanted to show the cups features, and we wanted to make it minimal, but we also wanted to make the cup the focal point. This is the most important thing. This is what the customer is buying. So the idea here is that when you click on any of these hot points, a card will open and explain what it does, what the feature is. Next, we have social proof. Again, the customer is using Judge Me, but the idea here was that we also wanted to hard code and make a native social proof section where the customer could kind of make out more of these call out reviews that are more powerful, that are more visual. Next, the idea here was that we wanted to create a carousel explaining the mission behind the company, the impact, the founder. A lot of people think, oh, I'm buying a ceramic cup, it's probably from China. But actually, these are handmade, handcrafted in Portugal. It has an eco mission, it has a sustainability factor to it. So we really wanted to build that out and make sure that customers know that they're buying not just a product, but a story. As we scale down, you'll see here, we have the compare. We're showing our product versus other products. And when you see the development, you'll notice that we added a second one, and I'll explain that later. Finally, we have the FAQ, and now I'll show you the design. Now, it's important to know that whenever we go into design, sometimes it's not one-to-one. We'll be adding and making tweaks as we are in development, and maybe it's easier for you guys to see what it looks like on desktop. So again, as the user scrolls down, this section here will scroll down with it. We have the title, the pricing, the benefits, And then here we have that free call out that if you spend more. In the development, we actually moved the choose style and choose select to the top so that you could actually click on them and see it. And you'll see that on mobile. And I'll quickly just go down and show you what that looks like. Now, the section that we added was this section here. We added this in design because the difference between this compare chart and this compare chart is the first one is the biggest contrast, the biggest competitor, which is disposable cups. So we wanted one specifically as to why Glaze is better than disposable cups. The next one is calling out all these different plastic cups. Another thing we added was this life happens, we've got you covered. And we parked it right underneath the product grid. And the reason is because we wanted to build more confidence that if something breaks, don't worry about it. Send your photo, send your order number, and get 50% off. Now I'll jump into the actual product page, so just bear with me. Awesome. So what you're looking at is the product page, and this is inside of Shopify. And the way we've done this is we've made everything fully editable, but we've also made them into app blocks. So you're able to move sections down and sections up and really test what makes the most impact and increases conversion rates. So whenever you're working with us, we give you those full customization like abilities so that you don't have to go back to a developer, you don't have to go into the code. You can easily just choose anything you want, click on it, and fully edit it. Here we have the read product details, and that sits above the benefits. And the idea is that when you click on it, we'll share more information. But again, we don't want to overwhelm, especially on mobile where majority of the traffic is. We don't want to overwhelm with so much information. We just want to keep it simple and we want to keep it clean. So you'll notice here, we moved the styles up because within the same view, you could see all the different colors. And you'll also notice we have that sticky add to cart. As you scroll down, we have the variants and everything is dynamic. We have the popular badge, and maybe you're not sure, so when you click on size guide, we have this size guide that scrolls out. As you scroll down, you have the product details, and again, you want to give the prospect the preference in reading. You don't want to just show all of that. Next, we have the benefits. And one of the things we loved, I just want to say that the customer provided this to us, is one of the benefits is really cool. Handcrafted in Portugal to outlast you, then pass it down. It's important that when you're creating copy for above fold in that product grid is that you're not focusing on features. So you don't want to say, 10-inch cup made out of blah, 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 blah. You want to provide benefits. Handcrafted in Portugal to outlast you, then pass it down. Meaning that this is a generational cup. It's something you're going to be able to pass down to your son, like to your daughter. So it's really important that when you're writing copy, you're focusing on the benefit to the customer, not the features. Then below we have the promo badge. And again, everything here is fully editable. From the colors, the text, you could take that promo badge and, for example, if you wanted to put it over the product description, let Shopify just load, and you could do that. Next is the widget, and this is what we're most happy about. So you'll notice that when you start, let me just remove some of the products. When you add a cup, you see here 2 cups, add another cup for 30% off. So you're like, you know what, I want that 30% off. When you add the other cup, it then tells you your total savings. So everything here is dynamic, and everything here is going to increase AOV. You get to see your savings in real time. And the best thing about this is that it's fully customizable. You don't need to use an app. All you have to do is create the discounts in the back end, put in the discount by clicking on these bundle badges here, and then click here and choose the products that you want. And they show dynamically in here. It even works with a variant image. So we're really happy with how this turned out. Again, you see here we have the delivered by, and we have the add to cart. And just like everything we do with the delivered by, if you're looking here on the right hand side, we give you the ability to choose how many days it'll be there. So when we say delivered by, that's to the doorstep. So when you change this, like maybe it's 5 days, you'll notice that it'll now be on November 28th. And that's always dynamic, meaning that when the customer does land on the product page, it's always going to be 5 days from the date that they're there. Next, we have the UGC, and we build these out like cards. You could add 50, 60, 70 of them. I don't suggest that because of the page load, but we've made it so it's so easy. You could show a static thumbnail, you could show a video, you could upload the video, you could put it on default autoplay, we could show the thumbnail on pause. It really helps with conversion rates, and we love this. And this is native. There's no app. There's not one single app we're using on this product page except for the Judge Me reviews. Underneath that, we have the product information. We have the shipping and returns. And then we have the We've Got You Covered. Again, break your cup, send photo, get replacement. Next, we have the hot points. I'll try to click on them. They're a bit tricky. And whenever you're clicking on here, you're able to see. Now, the cool thing about this section is that we made it so that you could customize the hot points. For example, on mobile, maybe you want it just a bit more left, a bit more right, or maybe you want it just a bit more up or a bit more down. We give you the ability to customize these hot points, and you can add as many as you'd like. And if you're noticing, that add to cart is always there. Next, we have the story. Talks about the founder, talks about the craft. Shopify is just going crazy right now, and all the story behind the product. Then we have the compare, the other compare chart, the review, the Judge Me, and the FAQ, and the add to cart. I'll show you what this looks like on desktop, guys. We're really happy with how it turned out. It is live. If you guys have any questions about the design, about the development, about the process, please let us know, and thank you for watching our videos.